CNN just did something that's going to absolutely shock you to your core, and they're not alone. Lifelong Democrat Stephen A. Smith just went nuclear on the Democrat Party. But that's not even the most stunning part. What's really happening behind the scenes has Democrats in a complete meltdown mode. And I've got all the facts and data that will show you that things are about to get a whole lot worse. Something unprecedented happened this week that signals a seismic shift in American politics. Roll it.
Wait a second. He just got the European leaders to agree to increase their defense spending to 5% of GDP. Remember, in his first term, it was barely able to...
You're moving the ball here.
No, that's material toughness.
No, hold on. I actually think that that's a fair point. I mean, you can talk about Obama putting sanctions on Russia, but that's after the fact. That's after he already took a bite out of Ukraine. And I do think that the NATO piece of it, the strengthening of NATO, I think most people at this table could or probably should agree that is one thing that Trump's bullying of NATO countries actually, he actually got that. You have to give him credit for that.
You're making my point, because Donald Trump bullies NATO countries and treats Vladimir Putin out of a spoon as if he's not somebody.
I'm not defending the tactics. I'm just saying the end result was something that is perhaps the most important thing when it comes to actually putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to
it doesn't really give much
to Russia.
Yeah, I'm gobsmacked, as you would say across the pond there. Abby Phillip, one of the most pathetic anti-Trump voices out there, never met a woke Democrat talking point that she did not regurgitate. And she's generally she's politically illiterate to boot. But not only did she just praise Trump, but she actually made a pretty darn good point. In contrast to the other leftist lunatic who was utterly shocked to hear Abby's take. You could tell he's like, Abby, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say it. Regardless of whether you agree with Trump's tactics or not, this was her point. We all have to admit, left, right, or center, we all have to admit that they worked. The most important thing, that's what she called it, the most important thing that could come from all of this was the strengthening and the reunification of NATO. And whatever you make of Trump's tactics, if you want to call it bullying our allies while cozying up to autocrats and dictators, whatever it was, it worked. NATO today is more united than it's been in decades. They were 100% behind Trump in his efforts to end the war. Well, they weren't behind him. They were sitting like little school children in front of Trump at his desk. Putin is complying. Zelensky's complying. NATO is unified. So whatever critique you have about the process that Trump engaged in, whatever your complaints, sorry, they're all eclipsed. They're all negated by the fact that it worked. It all came together to get the best possible outcome. Gang, that was freaking CNN's Abby Phillip. That wasn't Scott Jennings. That was coming from the mouth of someone literally obsessed with spinning everything negative if it involves Trump. So what on earth is going on here? Well, Abby wasn't alone. Roll the tape.
He ain't gonna act like he caused this now. It's Democrats in office. It was Biden in office when a full-fledged war against Ukraine took place, courtesy of Russia's instigation, no matter what they try to say to Trump. It was Russia that invaded Crimea, and that was under the Obama administration. It was Clinton in office when you made a deal that disarmed the Ukraine and therefore weakened them, leaving them dependent on the United States. And now here they are having to beg for support that they're owed because of what we promised them as a nation. We promised them this.
Yeah, that's ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, who commands an audience of over 12 million viewers all across platforms, going nuclear on his own Democrat Party. Again, this is a lifelong Democrat dropping one truth bomb after another on who actually caused this crisis. What actually created the conditions that led up to this Russia-Ukraine war? It was the Democrats. 100%, full stop. as Ketanji Jackson would say. It was under Clinton that the nukes were removed from Ukraine, leaving them vulnerable to Russian attack. It was under Obama in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. And it was under Biden when Russia invaded and annexed eastern Ukraine. It was Democrat of Democrat of Democrat who oversaw the dismemberment of Ukraine. And then they have the gall to turn around and critique Trump on how he's trying to clean up their own disgusting mess? Not even fellow Democrats are buying that anymore. Democrats like Stephen A. Smith are now defending Trump on the Russia-Ukraine conflict and placing the blame squarely on Biden and Obama and Clinton. When the most listened to sports commentator in America starts defending Trump and attacking Democrats, you know something fundamental has shifted in our culture. And that fundamental shift is what we're about to find out. I got the stats. I got the data. It's going to blow your mind. But first, we're not just fighting an information war here. There is another war that's happening that many of us don't even know about, and that's in your gut. There's a battle between good and bad bacteria going on inside you right now that can determine the health of your whole body. And here's how you're going to win that battle. Kimchi 1 from Bright Core Nutrition is the fermented superfood your body needs to arm the good guys with the right weapons to defeat the bad actors once and for all. All health starts in the gut. So putting the right fermented superfood in your gut improves every aspect of your health. We're talking your heart, your brain, even the quality of your skin, the growth of your hair. Containing over 900 strains of beneficial bacteria in each capsule, Kimchi 1 supports healthy digestion, fortifies your immune system, and helps detoxify your body. Kimchi has also been shown to reduce risk of obesity and promote smaller waistlines by curbing appetite and just naturally boosting your metabolism. Kimchi 1 is all natural, it's non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, and 100% made right here in the USA. So today you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below. Just use code Turley at checkout, and you're going to get 25% off your entire order. Or, for an even better deal, give my friends at Brightcore a call, and you're going to get 50% off your order plus free shipping. Give them a call right now at 888-597-0233. That's 888-597-0233. Bottom line, these admissions among Democrat media operatives reveal how dramatically the media landscape has shifted against the Democrats. When even left-wing journalists and Democrat commentators started admitting that the Russia-Ukraine conflict was the fault of the Democrats and that Trump is actually doing a pretty darn good job, pretty sensational job at cleaning that mess up, that is evidence of the broader trend of the political left losing narrative control. For example, take a look at some of these stats. And by the way, these are stats that are coming from the ultra left-wing Media Matters. This is going to blow your mind. Conservative online shows now dominate 82% of the total following across all major platforms: YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So we're talking about 500 million total followers, 480 million total followers for conservative content versus just 100 million total followers for left-leaning shows. Conservative audiences, obviously, this is international, primarily Anglosphere, as I understand it. Conservative audiences dominate liberal audiences 4-1 on social media. Gang, that's not a slight advantage. That's a complete decimation of the liberal media ecosystem. 9 out of the top 10 most followed online shows are all conservative leaning, with a combined audience of nearly 200 million followers. And the only liberal show in the top 10, it was Trevor Noah's. And he's since been canceled since that data was compiled by Media Matters. I honestly think this is one of the reasons, seriously, this is one of the reasons we're seeing Bill Maher turn around the way he's been. Scott Adams, he's been saying it's been so fascinating watching Bill Maher turn into a Republican in real time. Now, of course, Scott recognizes that's a bit of a stretch, but Maher just praised Trump this weekend in his handling of this Russia-Ukraine crisis, pointing out that he knows for a fact that Trump absolutely hates war and that he doesn't care where it's happening in the world. He wants to do everything he possibly can to stop it. But again, this shift in left-wing opinion, clearly moving more to the right, is reflective of a larger shift happening in this rising world of what's called the network society, where now the internet and social media are the online ecologies wherein most people get their news and information. And the views don't lie. The audience numbers are massively, overwhelmingly turning to the right. The same Media Matters data shows that right-leaning YouTube channels like this one have accumulated 65 billion total views as compared to just 30 billion for left-leaning content. Again, that's more than double the viewership, and it's accelerating. Bottom line, traditional media, legacy media, simply cannot compete anymore in a world reorganized around the network society. The network society has basically liberated us from the old liberal industrial media complex. So that would mean that CNN's rare moment of praise for Trump isn't journalistic integrity. It's more like survival instinct. I mean, they're hemorrhaging viewers, losing credibility, and watching their influence evaporate in real time. What we're witnessing isn't just a political shift. It's a cultural realignment of unprecedented scope. Conservative voices dominate online media. They're increasingly dominating Hollywood. Mainstream sports figures are defending Trump, and even CNN occasionally admits, hey, looks like the guy he got a win on this one. Let's admit it. The numbers tell the story. Conservative content creators have nearly 5 times the audience of their liberal counterparts. Right-leaning shows generate double the YouTube views. The most influential voices in American media, from Joe Rogan to Stephen A. Smith to Bill Maher, are either conservative or increasingly skeptical of progressive orthodoxy. This isn't temporary. This is a trend. This is the new American media landscape, where authenticity beats ideology, where common sense trumps political correctness, and where the American people have chosen their information sources. The left spent years trying to silence conservative voices. Instead, they accidentally created the most powerful alternative media ecosystem in history. And now, even their own platforms are starting to crack. We are the news now. The resistance is over. The realignment has begun. Have you locked in your seat from my America Awakened Masterclass yet? Because seats are filling up fast. This is your shot to grab our Freedom Week discount before the price goes up. This isn't scripted, it isn't safe, and it sure as heck isn't censored. It's real, it's raw, and it's unapologetically patriotic, just like the early days of Turley Talks that helped ignite a movement. But listen, this discount won't last. Click the link, claim your spot, and join the rising tide of Americans reclaiming faith, family, and freedom. Let's light the fire of liberty and awaken America together.